Hey, you guys, I'm so glad you are here. This has been an amazing week. I hope things have been amazing for you. I hope you're hearing me okay. I did a mic check. Everything seems to be coming through okay. I am Dwayne-Ross, your host, again from Dwayne-Ross.com, but also from the book No More Crumbs from the Table, right? And the idea is that we celebrate you because you have success on the inside of you. You have greatness on the inside of you, as Mr. Les Brown would always say. And the fact of the matter is, we all come to the earth with a tag. It's a talent, an ability, or a gift. You're going to have either one or all three, but you definitely will have a talent, an ability, and a gift. And if you just tap into that thing that makes you juiced up, that gives you the energy, I guarantee you your life is going to be more fulfilling. See, the thing is, sometimes people want to be a millionaire, but maybe you should be a fulfillionaire. And that's how I look at it. You know, I'm a dream coach. I help people manage their dreams. I help people publish and self-publish their books. I help them get out there and actually get involved with the things that they're on, that's on the inside of them. Now, I hope you are ready. I hope you got your seatbelt fastened. Right now, I'm waiting for our guests. You guys, if you were here last week, oh my gosh, we talked about that purposeful parenting, right? We talked about that idea that you can be a parent to be the first bully in the life of your children. We talked about how there's loved ones, people that's supposed to love us with everything in their heart, and they can actually try to take our heart out by how they're treating us. Oh yeah, we're gonna get a little bit deep. We're gonna get a little bit deep. Oh man, we have Miss Chambers is gonna be joining us as well. She's the guest of Miss Wilson. And guys, let me tell you, she's been doing some stuff. She's on fire. She's changing lives. She's slicing and dicing and helping people unearth their greatness, how to dig into that dirt and just kind of, just rebirth themselves. So we got a lot to talk about tonight. I just want to remind you, if you're watching on Facebook right now, I'm going to ask you that you just share it with somebody that you know might be interested in, better parenting, or maybe they're a great parent and they're looking for a way that they can actually engage the community a little bit better. I'm not really sure exactly what it is that they do, but they're definitely looking for something better, right? You guys that are here in the chat will come across. You're going to see your comments. So we have the live comments set up. So, when you're saying hello and everything like that, and you're kind of, making an adjustment there, make sure, you put your information in there and we'll bring it into the show. And hopefully you'll be able to see that. Man, I just got to tell you. So this week, it was just so much going on. And I had some technology issues, right? And I was like, what in the world is going on with technology? It was, so many people using Zooms and internet and live streaming and everything like that. And I think what has happened is that it has put a serious burden on all these systems that are out. All right. And so let me tell you. So I was struggling with something, and then boom, I figured it out. Nothing like figuring it out when you have something so passionate and you can't figure it out, right? So I was up like 3 o'clock in the morning, just working until I got it. And I got to tell you, I overcame the situation and I was able to charge forward. See, sometimes you get kind of stuck in a situation and you think you have no way out. We're going to talk about that tonight. We're going to talk about how you got to keep going. You got to have that tenacity. You got to have that resilience to just get up and go at it again. No matter how many times you fall down, it's not about the falling. It's about, do you have the capacity and the tenacity to get back up? See, some of us have the capacity, but we don't have the tenacity. We're not going to stretch. We're not going to struggle. We're not going to go for it one more time. I'm going to encourage you to go for it one more time. Now, again, I'm going to check on my guests real quick, see if everything's going well with the sound. They got, they're in the green room, so to speak. All right. But I also want to say, if you're on YouTube, we are streaming live on YouTube at the same time that we're streaming live on Facebook. And so that's an amazing thing that we're able to do. So you can make comments there. You can leave. You can share. You can subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe, that kind of thing. Whatever it is, share. Definitely share. All right, because we want to expand this. This is 6 weeks, y'all. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this was just a thought. It was just a thought, right? And then I talked to Rob and I reached out, and then we had that first show, and now I'm on show number 6. This is phenomenal, guys. All right, remember, I am Dwayne-Ross, the host, but also the author of the book, No More Crumbs from the Table, where you celebrate your talent, your ability, your gift. And if you're having trouble with that, I'm a dream coach to help you discover your tag. Discover your tag. Get in there and ask you some very serious questions, and let's see if we can get something going. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put some stuff out there. Maybe we can show. Hey, it's Denise Jenkins. How you doing, lady? How you doing? All right. We got Miss Barlow in the house. Woo! My 2 favorite people here. My 2 favorite students, Miss Barlow and Miss Gatton, taking care of business over here. All right. It looks like I got some people waiting also in the green room. I'm gonna bring them into the conversation, and that should be good. Again, if you have any questions as we go, just post your question, put your comment in, and we'll be bringing it out, showing it on the screen, as long as you keep it positive, right? Yes, we are overcomers, right? I don't even hardly say COVID-19. I just be like, listen, this is the new world order. If y'all know what I'm talking about, y'all know what I'm talking about. This is how we have to figure out how we're going to still keep moving forward, no matter what's going on in our society, no matter what kind of curveballs they throw at us. There was a cool movie that came out a couple years ago with Denzel Washington, right? And it was based on Langston Hughes. I believe it was Langston Hughes. And it was a play, and it was called Fences. And in there was a line that he used all the way through the entire presentation, right? And he said, you got to take the crookeds with the straights. Sometimes we want everything to be straight down the line so we can hit it out the park, but God knows we get some curveballs, y'all. We get some curveballs. So yeah. All right. Love the word. Let's see what you're saying. Yes, tenacity. All right. So let me bring my guest in. I think I have Miss Territa, Miss Chambers. Hey, Miss Chambers. Hey, girl. How you doing? Can you? You got to. Okay, here we go. I'm hearing you now. Got to make sure I hear you, lady. I know you got a lot to tell us tonight. Let me see if I can get Miss Celia in here. Let's see if I can get. Are you there, lady?
I'm here. Can you hear me, Dwayne?
All right. You gotta turn.
Wait.
Turn one on and one off. Yeah, you get feedback. Yes, I can hear you.
Praise the Lord. Okay,
we can hear you.
Woo! Glory to God.
Try not to move a lot, because that's gonna make it kind of shaky a little bit. But Miss Territa, she had a little problem with her device, but she's getting reconnected. So I'm glad you're here. And I mean, people want to hear from you, because last week you put in some fire. You put some fire out there. You talked about some stuff that was just hidden in the hearts of mankind, right? You talked about some things that we tend to try to just get old enough to understand and keep it moving, as opposed to realizing that we've been carrying this dead baggage with us all the way through our life. You talked about this purposeful parenting, so I definitely want to have you come on in and give us some more of that information. And there's some people who've been waiting. They've been sending me messages. Is she coming next week? Is she coming? Guess what, y'all? She's here. Now I got Miss Chambers is back. Let me get her back in here. So we got all 3. Now you got yourself sideways.
I'm sorry.
You got your phone sideways.
No, the phone is straight. I'm not sure why it's sideways.
Okay. You coming? Yeah, now you're upside down. Try the other way. Now you're one more side. Try one more turn. There we go. We in the house. All right, y'all. So purposeful parenting. We got some people on the line. They want to hear from you. But before we get started, why don't you go ahead again, Miss Celia? Tell us who you are. right? Tell us what you do, and then introduce Ms. Chambers.
All right. My name is Celia Wilson. I'm the founder of Family Empowerment Consultants. I teach behavioral health prevention. And I have a master's degree. I'm working on a doctorate degree in adult education. My master's degree is in ministry and religious studies. And Territa Chambers is a dynamic woman. She is a counselor. She's a licensed professional counselor. She is a supervising counselor. She's an entrepreneur, a wife, and a mother, and my friend. Amen.
You said
Amen.
She's a superwoman. She said, I am your superwoman. She said, I can do all that stuff. She said, give me my cape. Give my cape. Oh, I don't need no cape. She said, shoot, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I got you. So talk to us, Miss Chambers. Talk to us.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. I'm constantly moving myself. Can you guys see me?
We can see you,
okay.
Yes.
Yep, so as Sister Celia Wilson said, I call her Sister Celia, Mama Celia, Aunt Celia. She's all of those things to me. And as she has said, my name is Territa Chambers. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I currently live in Charlotte, North Carolina. Sorry about that if you can't see my finger. And I am a licensed clinical mental health counselor, supervisor, working on my doctorate, almost done. So all of those things, wife, mother, friend, all of those great things. And
all right, we're looking forward to hearing from you. As always, tell us how to find you. Do you have a website? You have some other information? And we could get that again at the end of the show, but I like to also make sure people know how to find you right now.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I'm kind of adjusting some things here.
That's okay.
Okay.
Got to make adjustments.
Yes. All right, thank you. So absolutely. You can find me at Territa Chambers on Facebook and Instagram, also under Miss Accountability Transformation Group. My email is teritachambers@gmail.com, and that's the way you can find me.
Awesome. All right, so take it away.
Me?
Tell us what you got for us. Yes.
Well, you asked me to bring on somebody who I had coached before. And I told Territa when I contacted her, I said, Territa, I'm not a coach. She said, yes, you are, Sister Celia. I said, oh, well. So I wanted Territa to share with the viewers one of her experiences that she had with her kids at daycare, because our kids, remember I told you our kids have it hard. They don't need it harder. Remember I said that? They don't need it hard. It's already hard. So, Territa, tell them how old your kids were, tell them what happened, and what you did to resolve the situation.
Sure. So, many years ago, this son is actually the one I'm going to speak about. Is actually a college student now. He'll be going into his sophomore year. But at the time, he was 3 years old, and just some of his behaviors were just a little bit odd. Constantly going into the daycare, there was always an issue. He was acting up this day, just over and over. He was constantly a problem. And, I had that gut feeling that something was wrong, but I wasn't sure. I didn't have any evidence, didn't have any credence to believe that there was something wrong, especially at.
She'll be back. So pick it up. So she.
Okay. All right, so she talked to me about it. She said, Sister Celia, I don't know what's going on. There's something going on with my son. There's something, he's acting up. I don't know what's wrong. I said, Territa, I said, kids do not act up for a reason. He may not be able to tell you what's going on, but he is telling you. He can't verbalize to you, this is what's happening to me, whether it's out of fear or just because he was young, right? So I said, there's something going wrong. You need to find out. So what I told her to do was, I said, when you take him to school, you drop him off, pretend like you're leaving. I said, pretend like you're leaving. Walk out, make the steps like you're leaving, give him a kiss and leave.
Nice.
Act like you're leaving. As soon as they heard her feet walk down the hall, they lit in on her son. Oh, so I don't know. I forgot. She can tell you what he said. She can tell you what he said. I don't know if it's about her, whether it's about him, whatever it was. They began to berate the little boy. She just dropped him off. Understand? I don't have my coat off good. This is daycare.
Daycare.
Not first grade, not second grade, not 12th grade. Come on, Territa. I told him part of the story, Territa.
We want to hear from the footsteps down the hallway. From the footsteps down the hallway. What happened?
So I actually dropped my son off. He's crying. He's 3 years old. He's not comfortable. I'm not feeling comfortable as a parent, obviously leaving him there. But I had to go to work, right? So I left out of the room and I stood there. Something gave me a pause for a minute, and I stood there. And as I paused, I can start hearing the man basically verbally abusing my 3-year-old son. You know, just sharing things about me, talking bad about me as a mother. Like, that's why your mama this, your mama that, or this or whatever. And he was crying. And so it was at that time that I did go into the classroom and take him out of the classroom.
Wow. So how did you confront the issue? So we're going to go back, because you know that your son is having a challenge. And as Celia said, they don't do that for just any old reason. There has to be some kind of catalyst.
Yeah.
We just don't usually take the time to figure it out. And a lot of times you hear parents go, boy, just shut up, be down, sit down, get over there, be quiet, and all of that, right? And the kid doesn't have the vocabulary, nor do they maybe even have the behavioral skill to say, hey, this is what's happening. So it shows up a certain way. How did you have that conversation with your son? 3 years old.
At 3 years old, you know, I had to pull him to the side. I had to talk with him. I think also you have to trust your gut, trust what you're feeling in your spirit. You know your child, you're right. They do not have the vocabulary to tell you that, but they can explain what is going on with them through their emotions, through their behavior. So it's not always an acting out. It's not always, you know, a temper tantrum, which is what they were labeling it for my son. And so I had to address it by talking with him, right? Definitely removing him immediately out of that situation, and definitely trusting my gut, getting him out of that situation and putting him more in a healthier environment, because this is not okay. So at 3 years old, you can't do a ton of verbal counseling, but you can definitely do things as far as play therapy, what's correct, you know, and do some play things with them to help them with those emotions. But I will tell you, Dwayne, as I removed him from that environment, the behaviors ceased.
Isn't that something? So now your mom, you're concerned, you take a step out, but you get a check. You said something told, you know, we always say that. Something told me, you know, not always something, but sometimes it's also a spiritual thing, right? Yeah. Where we get a check by our spirit. And that, you know, gut checks are good. They're not always 100%. I will say that. I've lived long enough to know that I've trusted my gut once or twice and was wrong. Sure. But at the other time, you had other information that you were also qualifying as a parent.
Sure.
And so, you know, from the two of you, first from you, is it Dr. Chambers? Because I know you got a master degree. So both of y'all running after the DR. Both of y'all running after the DR. Okay. I'm Dwayne-Ross, DR. Y'all gonna make it. I'm just gonna tell you, y'all already saying it is already done. Doctor done found you already. I got you. All right. So I'm gonna call y'all doctors right now, because Chambers, here you are, you making this decision, but you also had to confront the school system. You had to confront this teacher. You know, how did you go about connecting back to them to help them understand what was going on and what had happened to your son?
Yeah, so at that time, I did confront the teacher, and
she said, "Guess what? Now I'm gonna tell." No.
Guess what? Now what? That's it. But I did confront the teacher, and it wasn't received well. And one of the reasons why it wasn't received well is because they didn't know I was listening. Right? They didn't know that I had heard. No, he didn't have to tell me, and neither did the other kids. I had actually had that pause, and I had heard within, you know, for myself, the words that was being spoken to my son. So there was an excuse, right? And then there was defense. He wanted to defend his behavior, the actual teacher, that was in, and it was more than one teacher in the room. Actually, it was 3 teachers in that room. He wanted
Wow.
to defend himself for the way he was speaking to my son. And so I did take that to the director, and it still wasn't received well. And so that's when I made that choice to remove my son, because at that time, you know, there's a lot of CYA, if you will, during that time. Oops, I'm caught. I was caught red-handed. And so instead of just them owning it, they did not own it. So then that means that place was not conducive for myself or my son.
Wow. So that was a lot. And you know what I do, Celia? I'm going to back it up a little bit.
That's it.
Right? Make sure that my people get it, because, you know, 3 adults in a room. And we talked about this. When the adult doesn't do the adult thing inside the room with the children. Take us through that thought process, Celia, when you know that these people, they can see, they can hear, they can smell, they can touch, they have their senses. What's happening? The 3 adults would see this and not, you know, make a change or even support, like, hey, why are you talking to that child that way? What happens in that?
Well, okay, so having been an educator in the classroom, an assistant in the classroom, an assistant in the lunchroom, an assistant on the playground, a mother, a student myself, right? Amen. So people, and I have friends who say, well, all kids are going to get bullied. You know, all kids are going to get bullied. Kids are going to get talked about. They need to know how to accept that. They need to be taught how to accept it, instead of we need to hold people accountable who mistreat people. Amen. Mistreating kids starts when you're young and you're not corrected. It's laughed at. Oh, you did that, Jim? Yeah, we all got that. No, stop doing that. So these people probably grew up being bullied. Yeah. Understand, their self-esteem is probably null. Understand, no. The way they feel about themselves is lacking. I lack respect for myself. That's why they didn't respect Rita as his mom. That's why they didn't respect the little boy in the room. Bullying is a pattern of behavior. And this is my thing about bullying. People want to look at bullying like it's okay. It's a crime. It's stalking. It's harassment. It's verbal abuse. It's physical abuse. Amen. These are crimes. These are crimes that when you do it as a bully, if you put bully on it, it's okay. No, it's not. No, it's not. So kids get bullied in school. Kids get verbally abused in school. They get verbally abused in daycare. They get verbally abused. And teachers like to say, I read an article about a school local in one of the suburbs here, and they called the teacher a hard teacher. Oh, she's just hard. No, she's probably disrespectful. Amen.
Respect.
One of my creeds is to respect the basic human dignity of all people. If you start with that, that's basic. That's just basic. They're alive. I didn't wake them up. The Creator woke that person up today, gave them life today. Who are you to disrespect that? You didn't make one heartbeat. Amen. Oh, I'm gonna stop talking.
No.
The basic human dignity of a person. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So when a little kid, if you're an adult and you can't respect the dignity of a baby, how old was he, Territa?
He was 3.
He was 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We talked about this last week, right? Because there are parents too who, I'm gonna punch you in your face. Get over here. Go sit down. You're so stupid. Right? So not only is bullying coming from their places outside,
yes,
but they're coming home to bullying. You didn't do your homework? Yes. What's wrong with you? You got a C on this? I told you to get an A.
Right.
Right? And so that harshness that you're talking about, that negativity that you're talking about, that disrespect. You know, I have a program for schools called Respect From Me to You. It's an anti-bullying program. And I was doing that in the school systems. I would go around to different school systems and we talk about respect your neighborhood, respect who you are, respect yourself, respect your elders. And that word respect, you used it. Because I think respecting human dignity is something that you're talking about. So you have a holistic approach. You and future Dr. Chambers has a holistic approach, which also involves the adult to help the child. So take us on a journey. So you got a situation like this. What do you do? How do you help people get past this?
So, you know, I was reading an article last night. I sent it to Territa, but it was talking about, it's from the World Health Organization. And they're talking about in this time of COVID-19, right? You have perpetrators who have to be at home because their job said, you know, you can't come to work. You have kids who are at home because the schools are closed. So you have kids who are in these locked situations with the adults, but the adults are locked in too, right? So remember last week I said, you can't be relying on old school stuff. Remember I said that?
Yep.
Remember that? Okay.
Yeah, you said that.
Well, in this instance,
isn't working for today's society. We have to look at how do they need to be engaged today versus what you did before. So yeah.
So I'm gonna talk about little kids first. Right?
Yeah.
So you have parents who are locked in, who are stressed out, and I'm not talking about the sexual abuser. I'm not talking about the physical abuser. I'm talking about that person who's overwhelmed and they're verbally abusive, right? I'm talking about that person right now, okay? Because they're so stressed out. What do they need to do? They need help. Where do I get help? Nobody can come in. If you have a mom who has a friend, a sister, a niece, an auntie who can meet them at the park. We're lucky here. We have a lot of parks. Meet me at the park. I'll bring my kids. I'm going old school on you. We're going to play Simon Says. Oh my God. I don't need to touch anything. I don't need to touch anybody. I teach the kids how to play. You watch these kids while I go take a break. They're outside playing. They're safe. Amen. I can go take a break and sit under a tree. I can go sit in the car and turn the music on. I can go take a walk down the street and not be bothered. I'm just saying, it doesn't mean the parent doesn't love the kid, but in this time, we're all smashed in together and we're stuck together. Some people need a break. And I can't get a break, so I need to make a break. You don't give up. You say, who can I get? My neighbor beside me. She has 2 kids. Angie, can we get together? Can we watch each other's kids so we can each get a break? I got my mask on. Come on, we want to touch. We playing hopscotch. We playing Simon Says. Stop playing. We playing red light, green light. Can I get a witness?
Mother May.
Listen. Mother May. You teach the kids how to play. No, I'm serious. You take the kids outside, they're in the grass, you teach them how to play the game. You walk off the other lady watching the kids, you get a break. Oh my God. Community. How long have we been locked in? Some people been locked in for what? 3 weeks, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, 3 months. Oh my God.
3 months.
Locked down. We all are.
Okay, I'm the type of person. Okay, everybody, my friend said outside was closed. She said, when outside is closed, what do you do? So, but all I'm saying is,
wait, those well past that. When outside is closed, what do you do? I love that. We need a T-shirt. We need somebody in the chat. Write that down. Comment on that. Make a T-shirt. Send it to me so I can give it away. When outside is closed, what do you do?
What do you do?
Only a child could come up with that right there.
Okay, so that came from Lori. That came from my friend Karen. Her daughter Lori Bryan said that. She said outside is closed. So anyway, so that's just a real thing you can do. That's a real live practical thing you could do to get a break, because sometimes, like me, I don't need one. I'm cool. I can stay in the house. I can read. I can write something. I'll paint something. I'll hook something up on the wall. I'll sew something. I'll make something. I'm good in the house. But some people actually really need to get out. And so you can find resources. You can find people to join in with you and still stay safe in this COVID-19 era, right? Amen. Now let's go back to Territa's situation.
Slow down. Celia be gone. I'll be like, let me. She at 99. It's only 75 in this here lane right here, girl. You 99 right now. Let's. Woo. Hold on, miss. You got a license. Let's see your registration. Here it is.
I'm legal.
Children are locked in with parents, right? locked in with adults. So now the adult is locked in and they're having anxiety, because I've actually been in a couple of meetings where there's a check-in and they're like, oh, this, oh, that. And I'm not saying anything right or wrong with that. I just don't have it, right? I haven't had it from day one to now. I'm not feeling anxiety. I'm not feeling lost. I'm not feeling none of that stuff. I have so much that I can now do with my time. It's crazy. But here's the deal. Some of these parents are the oppressors. And now the child is stuck in that house. It used to be too that, see, getting out of the house, going to school was the relief. But now they're stuck with this perpetrator. They're stuck with this parent that just doesn't understand anything about purposeful, holistic parenting. So talk to us about getting that child, getting that adult on the right track. What's some of the things that you guys do?
So I'm gonna say one thing, Territa, she's a professional counselor, but one of the things, like my friends are all introspective. So remember last time I said there's always something on. Remember I said that there's always noise. There's always noise. You don't have time to assess yourself, right? With the Celia, you can actually see, oh, this area bothers me. I get upset. I get angry. I get frustrated when I deal with this. And you can stop and ask yourself, why is this bothering me? Right? So pretend like there's a person in the house with a kid and they're just berating the kid. I can't stand you. I keep looking at you. Get out of my face. You keep coming in this damn room. I need you to get out of my face. And that parent needs to stop and go, hold on, wait a minute. Why does me seeing this kid bother me? I have a in my parenting program, I have like all these reasons. It's called Why Did I Have a Baby? Why did I have a baby? What if the baby reminds the woman of the father? What if the father is reminded of the mother? So every time I attack you, it's called, what's it called, Territa? What's it called? When I hear Denise saying it right now in my ear. I'm projecting what I feel. But I heard Denise in my ear. I'm projecting what I feel to that person onto
your sound. You might be hearing your sound too. So think about, if you're hearing an echo, it might be your sound coming back to you. So, but that's okay. I don't want you to mess with nothing though, because ain't nobody saying nothing in the chat. And we want to keep everything going. I'm just letting you know. Go ahead.
Okay, so it may be projection going on. So I just wanted to make sure I didn't want to mess up. So it may be projection going on, and you need to say, wait. So if it is a projection issue, right, and it doesn't have to be the father, it could be the grandfather. He's skinny and tall, just like my grandfather was. And grandpa used to abuse me. I couldn't stand him. Okay, whatever it is, you need to ask yourself, why does me seeing this kid bother me? See, it's introspection. Ask yourself, right? Okay, then that's one way. If you ask yourself what the problem is, and it's not with the kid, then it may be with you. I need a break. I need to go lay down. There's some other needs you might have that I'm not going to mention, but if that's the need, you got to make plans. You feel me? You have to make some plans. Amen. I'm just saying.
Get you some Kool-Aid. Get you some Kool-Aid. You'll be all right.
It's Kool-Aid.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So I think introspection. I think asking yourself what the problem is, and then Territa can take it from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I serve families, and this is definitely a time where you're going to have increased behaviors, or those escalated behaviors, because of the nature of what's going on. So, like Celia is saying, there's usually, to answer your question, there's usually something that is going on internally with the parent. How do we get that on track? Well, in the clinical world, we're going to say you have to be mindful, right? You have to really be mindful. You have to know yourself and what's going on with you. But sometimes people don't have the skills to even be mindful. And so you have to take that, what we talk about, stop and pause, and really see, right, what's going on with you, you have to slow down. So like you're telling Sister Celia, slow down. You 75 right now. You 75. You have to slow down and really scan yourself and your emotions. Then label that emotion. What is that emotion that you're feeling that you're reactive, right, instead of responding? So if you're constantly reactive to the child, then that's something that is internal. And sometimes there are cases where kids maybe are just freaking you out. There's things that are going on, but still you are in control of yourself. So you're in control of how you're either going to react or you're going to respond. Oftentimes we see a lot of reaction because of what the parent is going through internally with themselves. So whether that is projection, whether that is deflection, whether that is any of those defense mechanisms, right, that the parent is exhibiting, that is usually what's going on within them. So first, be mindful. What's going on with me? Ask the question, like Sister Celia was saying. Why am I feeling this way? Examine yourself first. That's the first thing. Stop. Figure out what's going on with you. Check that. And then respond appropriately.
This is very key.
Yeah.
Jack Canfield talks about this in his goals program. It's called E plus R equals O.
Okay.
And he has people take the event you have no control over. That just happens.
Yeah.
The situation, right? Whatever. But the R is what you just talked about is, do you respond or do you react? And
That's
if you're
right.
responding, you're not thinking.
That's right.
If you're responding, you are thinking. If you're reacting, it's all emotion.
Yes.
And so most people have destroyed their entire life because they reacted to a situation.
That's right.
A life has been totally destroyed because someone reacted to the situation.
That's right.
And they never responded. Even our officers, they're reacting to our kids. Tamir Rice was shot down from a reaction.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right? They didn't respond because they never stopped, slow down, take a look at it, assess the situation, all the things that we're taught to do.
Yeah.
None of that happened, right?
Yeah.
So awesome. So good. Thank you for talking about that whole idea of reaction, taking the time to stop, slow down, label the emotion. Now, let's talk about labeling emotions. But see, some people don't have any names. They only know 3 emotions.
That's right. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Talk about that. Help us understand about this idea of labeling the emotion.
Okay, so just like anything in life. Oh, go ahead.
No. I'm sorry. I didn't know if he was asking me or you. So go ahead.
It don't matter. Either one of you can respond. I will say your name here and there, but it's up to you. This is free flowing, just like if we were standing there. Go for it.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Sister.
So anything in life that you're interested in, you do some research, right? There are tools online, like the sheets I use in my parenting class. There's a list of emotions. Some have the little places if you need visuals, amen, or some just have the words. And then what you do is you start practicing. You don't just say, I'm pissed off. Okay, that is not an emotion. Okay, that is not, like, God did not give you pissed off. That's not, like, no.
What?
Are you angry? Yeah, God didn't give you pissed off. That's not. That's
you guys. I thought that was an emotion. I've been saying that all the time.
That's not an emotion. Okay, that's not. You're angry. You're frustrated. You're disappointed. I mean, like you need to start naming it. Yeah. When I was in school, one of my mentors, I had to go to her. She was a counselor, and she said, "Celia, your emotional vocabulary is limited." And I thought, what? Who are you to tell me? But really, I was like, happy, sad. Look, I'm happy, sad, I'm mad. I'm cool. Look, and everything else is just whatever. But sometimes I'm not angry. I was frustrated, and I started telling Mr. Wilson, I'm frustrated. I started telling the kids. I would tell the kids, I'm excited. I don't like surprises, so don't surprise me because I will get angry. Amen. So I started naming them. You have to practice. You have to First, you adult, have to take responsibility for yourself and understand I don't know everything about me. I'm still learning. We're all in process. That's a good thing. It doesn't mean anything. You're 50, you're 20, you're 30, and you don't know, so what? You're still alive. You can still learn. Amen.
That's
So what?
interesting.
So, and learning about you is the best thing in the world. Learning about yourself. Come on now. Hallelujah. Now, Territa, am I right?
Absolutely. You're absolutely right.
Go, Territa.
Oftentimes we do. You're absolutely right. Oftentimes we have a limited vocabulary with our emotions. So one way, a very simple way of learning your emotions is looking at the emojis on your phone. Emotions. So the word emotion means energy in motion. There's something that is energy that is in motion. And so the more that we identify that, the more we can really understand what are those primary emotions that are driving our reaction, especially toward our kids. So primary emotions are those deeper emotions: rejection, abandonment, insecurity. Those are those root primary emotions that often manifest themselves in the form of anger or in the form of something else, right? And so when we start to become mindful and we do label that emotion, then we can sit in that emotion and we can begin our own healing process as a parent, because that takes us deeper into the root emotion or the primary emotion, not the secondary emotion, but we got to learn them first. And then we're able to heal ourselves as well. And then I actually respond, because we are sitting with the emotions that we have now labeled. So just like Sister Celia said, there's lists, nowadays it ain't even no excuse, because nowadays there's lists online. There's the emojis on your phone, right? My son was telling me what all the different color hearts mean. I was like, what? Okay. This one means you my friend. This one means I love you. This one means that. I was like, oh, okay. My clients, my clients they use apps that where they're journaling their emotions that day. And one of my clients, she says, mad is when I'm, mad, the mad fast. And I'm like, what does that mean? And so she's telling me mad really means I'm in this funk. I'm in this kind of unbalanced state, if you will. So the more that we label those emotions, we absolutely can begin to control ourselves and regulate our own selves.
Yeah, Denise said it just what I was getting ready to say. Learn your own emotions, but then teach your children, because, again, our children, and I know from my own past, I didn't have a vocabulary for my emotions. Sure. And unfortunately, I lived with some emotions that I never was able to label until recently. And I went through what's called emotional feelings techniques, where you actually, go back to that moment, and you have to actually emotional freedom technique, where you have to free yourself from that emotion. I was being driven. I had a couple of emotions about the death of my mom. I had an emotion about her leaving by dying, and it was wrong, right? But it was what an 8-year-old thought.
Yeah.
And that 8-year-old has been controlling my relationships in my life for 55 years, 50 years, 49 years. And I didn't know it until I went through this technique, and I was able to identify it and actually speak to my little self.
Yes.
And then have him respond to the situation instead of react, because he reacted, and that's all he remembered.
Yes.
And when I started,
Territa's an expert in that.
Yes.
See, I didn't know. I never even heard of that.
We all usually are living with a frozen part. So for you, it was the 8-year-old. Your 8-year-old was frozen, but still showing up with, in your later adult life. And responding from your frozen part. So when you're able to identify it and label it, you can tell your 8-year-old, sit down. The other thing is, we can't judge the way we feel. Death feels like abandonment sometimes. And so death has that feeling of, you left me, you abandoned me. It's not wrong. It's actually a feeling. So absolutely. Yeah.
Divorce.
And can I talk about death too?
Loss.
Yeah.
Can Can we talk about loss and death?
It's your show, girl. It's your show. You can talk about anything you want to
well,
talk.
because that takes us to grief. That takes us to grief. And in this COVID-19 situation, we've lost. I mean, people feel, I don't, but people feel like they've lost their freedom, right?
Yeah.
And so you need to grieve. They need to, as they're in the house and they're mad, they're upset, they're not mad, they're angry and they're frustrated and all these whatever they are. There's so many to list. I'm not going to list them all, but they're feeling like they're trapped and they don't have freedom. So you know what you do? Because our world has changed. That's the reality, right? Grieve what you lost. There are things you could do, like my grandfather, my paternal grandfather, he abused me when I was young. So before I got married, I just decided like I couldn't hold any. To me, I can't have a good relationship with God if I hold crap in, right? So I had to let what I was feeling about him go. I went outside. I wrote some stuff about him on some paper. This is me. Listen. I was not in a place where I would get locked up for starting a fire, and it wasn't a big bonfire. Amen. I'm just saying. You can do it at home and you can do it in the house I don't know if you have ashtrays or whatever, but I wrote down what I had to say about him, and I burned it up. And as it went up, I prayed. As the smoke went up, I prayed. I said, Lord, I forgive this man. What he did is not going to impact my life forever, Father God. I just let it go. I had to grieve that. I was in grief recovery one time. And as little girls, we're taught our husbands are going to be this, and your husband's a Christian, and he's going to be praying, he's this and he's that. They men of God, they da. Oh my God. And Mr. Wilson did lead me to the Lord, but he was not like, look here, woman, I'm going to just take the Bible and we're going to. No, he would pray for me. I was like, I got to tell you to pray first. But the Lord said, Celia, grieve your expectation of who you wanted him to be.
Yeah.
And accept him for who he is. I had to grieve it. I had to grieve that. I had to say, God, you made him like he is. I love him like he is. I'm glad he's alive like he is. In Jesus' name, I had to grieve that. So if there's things in your life, your freedom, some people's jobs, the amount of money you were making, the plans you had for vacation. Listen, come on. My wedding was going to be like this. Come on. I was going to move into my house next week. It was next month, 6 months. It was going to be like, you have to grieve that. It's okay. It's healthy to grieve it. It's healthy to be sad about it. You lost something. That's okay. So we're really good at traditions, right? There's a tradition at Christmas, a tradition at Thanksgiving. There's a tradition at funerals, right? And that's even changed. You can't even bury people now, Lord, with all the family, with the friends, with the food. Oh, come on. That's even changed. So now you have to find a new way to grieve, but not just the people who you've lost, but the lifestyle that you lost. The freedom to go outside without a mask on. Because see, the thing about this is, and this is what I want to say, and I can't tell people what to do, and I never try to tell people what to do. But wearing a mask protects you from infecting somebody else. I could be asymptomatic. I don't know. The whole point about asymptomatic is you're absent of symptoms. You don't have any, but you can still have the virus, and you transfer it to somebody else, and then they die.
Right. Responsibility.
Asymptomatic. Yeah. So grieve what you need to grieve. It's okay to grieve what you need to grieve. It's okay. So now I'm done.
What are the other? That's one technique, right? So because we got about 10 minutes left. Tell us some other techniques, Territa. What's some other techniques? What can people do now that they've identified? They came back and they looked at it another way. They actually went to get some therapy or what have you. What are some of the self-care? What are some of the other things that people should maybe look into? Maybe, again, we're not telling them what to do, but here are a couple suggestions. What would you say?
Well, for self-care, first you have to know what suits you. So a lot of times, we'll say, oh, I'm going to get my hair done, I'm going to get my nails done, or I'm going to do something. And that's not actually soothing. It's not actually soothing, right? When a baby is crying, we find the ways that the baby responds to being soothed. So somebody might not need to pat them on the back. Somebody need to walk them around. Everyone is different. So what really brings you into that place of soothing? So for me, it's meditation. I need time to walk. I'm going to be walking slow. Don't look at me, y'all. But I might be walking slow. But that's my time to get in a different space mentally. And that replenishes me. So I will go walk for a morning. Maybe not every morning I make it a ritual, but I may go walk to take care of me because I need that. That's my prescription. That's my medicine. That's my time. You have to find out as you're doing your self-discovery, how do you take care of yourself? Not these ways we always hear of on TV and different things. Oh, I went shopping, I took care of myself, or I'm doing this. No, what do you need specifically? You're a unique individual. So what may work for someone else may not necessarily works for you. You have to find out what works for you. So that is definitely a self-care tool. The other thing is, I'm going to say it, but journaling always work because you're emptying a lot of things out. You're emptying. So if you're being honest in a journal and you're able to write what is going on with you that day, you are having some form of emotional expression. So you're getting it out. If you have a trusted person in your life that you can share what you have journaled with, then you're also expressing it out. Someone who can validate what you're feeling. You're also getting it out in that manner. So you're being able to take care of yourself.
That's pretty awesome. Actually, how this show actually started. I actually help people self-publish book with transformational fiction. And Dwayne-Ross.com, that's what they do. They go there for consultation. And so when COVID hit, I decided to do 31 days of positivity, positive things out will help with, doing some things. But after it was over, I had people saying, so what's next? What are you doing next? Then I did 30 days over in LinkedIn, which was 30 days of video. And everything about it was about, positive reinforcement and things of this nature. And then it birthed this show. And it all came from talking about how to write your stories. I always said in the end of my presentations, I would say what Les Brown taught me is history is being read, but it's also being written. Mm-hmm. Don't let other people write your story. You write your story. You decide. Right? Go ahead, Celia.
I like what Territa said about the arts. So it might be you might write a poem. The dancing that people do, dance. Oh my God, it's so expressive. You can dance. If you're not artistic, you don't want to write a poem. You don't want to journal. You don't want to dance. Okay, maybe that's not your thing. But like my son likes to fix things. He'll take an engine apart and put it back together. He'll take a car apart and put it back together. So find out what your thing. What is that thing that speaks to you? What is that thing that calms you down? For some people, it might be just going to take a nap. Amen. Amen. I mean, some people just need to take, some people need to go to sleep. And I want to say this about what Territa said last time about, how I used to empower parents. You give people tools. One of the things I think that gets lost in parenting today is parents say they're their kids' friends. My husband said the other day, he was my son's friend. We can be our sons. We can be friendly with our kids. We can never be their peers, because we're older than them. You understand? We're not their peers. But parents, I think maybe with that mentality think, oh, this kid is trying to take control from me. Well, in reality, a parent always has control. You are in control. Whether you use your power or not, that's up to you. But you have the power because you're the adult. Right. When you're talking about little kids, a little kid can't make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich if you tell him to. Yes, you can go in my refrigerator. Yes, you can use the knife. Don't drop my jelly. Get the bread, close it back up. Yes, because I'm guiding you, right? Because I'm there, right? As they get older, they want more freedom, yes, but I'm still responsible. Until you're 18, I'm responsible. I am. I have to sign the checks, so you can't take that from me. And the picture I used to use is an octopus. This is the brain, that big old top part of the octopus, right? And then all those arms, right? And so if you cut off the legs from the head of the octopus, you got the legs, they're going to die. If a parent takes their brain, if a parent takes their brain, their decision making away from their kids, what's going to happen?
Yeah, they're going to be arrested in development. They're definitely not going to know what to do.
Yeah.
And in some cases, as you said, they'll be brain dead, right? They'll be making decisions from a dead place. Well, listen, ladies, we have like 2 more minutes. What golden platinum? You know, I always talk about platinum nuggets. What's a platinum nugget for you, Ms. Chambers, in reference to this topic of what we covered today? I know this doesn't do it justice, an hour, but you know, hopefully some people can get something, and then they'll reach out to you guys again. Again, once you give that comment, make sure you give us how to connect with you, and so that they can find you, because this is live right now on Facebook, but it's also live on YouTube. I have no idea how many people will see it on YouTube until I check the analytics. So give us something. Give us a platinum nugget. Take us away.
A platinum nugget. I would say a platinum nugget is to really deal and to work on yourself. Know yourself. Once you know yourself, accept yourself. And yourself is always evolving. Yourself is always growing. But sometimes we leave fragments of ourselves, right? 20, 30 years ago. You guys have probably talked to someone who's like, you know what, they still the same. I haven't seen them in 20 years. They're still the same because their brain or their mental or emotional state has been stuck somewhere, or there's a part of themselves that is still in the bag. So I would say be authentic, be real with yourself, know yourself, dig deep within yourself, face the giant, because sometimes facing ourselves is more painful than facing anything else. So I would say that everything is transformable and everything can be healed. But you do have to be willing to do the work and to face the giant. My name is Territa Chambers. I can be reached at teritachambers@gmail.com. I'm also on Facebook under Territa Chambers, as well as Miss Accountability Transformation Group. I'm also on Instagram at Miss Accountability Transformation Group. Pink Butterfly, Pink Lady. Don't have a whole lot of content, but I'm going to put it out there. And you can reach me at phone number 704-345-0613. And thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I mean, you know, again, maybe you might come back in the future. We don't know. We might have another helping. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all let me know in the comments if you're going to see these ladies again in the future. So we might have to bring them back for something else. Celia, leave your mic alone. What's going on, ladies?
My cat is screaming for mommy, mommy. I don't want you to hear him.
You got the cat. Oh, that's the cat trying to get on the microphone. I'm trying to figure out what in the world. I heard all this rumbling, bumbling. I'm like, wait a minute.
That's the cat. I was trying to, and I didn't want to say, cat, be quiet, because he just loves his mommy, but like not now. So, so my nugget is what. One of my pastors used to always say, everything alive grows. Mm-hmm. Everything alive grows. The fact that you're alive and you can still grow. It's okay. You shouldn't beat yourself up. I don't know this about myself or whatever. You're alive, grow, enjoy the process. Don't take it out on your kids. Don't take it out on your spouse. Don't take it out on your employees. Don't take it out on the guy at the corner store. It's okay. I'm learning about me, and that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. You are the most important person in your life. Amen. Amen. Ms. Wilson,
you know, they say you are the number one equation for your success, right? You are the number one equation. People try to get success from this and that, but the reality is you are the number one equation for your success. All right, ladies. Well, listen, I want to show a quick. It might work, it may not, but I have a Christian indie. I'm going to mute your phone just a little bit there, Celia. But we have Christian indie singer Miyoshi Trail coming next week. I hope you guys are ready for that. She's going to be doing some live concert type engagement. We're going to talk about her idea of how she took what she does and turns it into a profit. Just as Celia, she started a theory-based company. She has a program now, Purposeful parenting. We didn't even get to the Celia model, which is a whole different thing on how people look at all the facets of their life. So, people say good talk, that would be awesome. Everything alive grows. Enjoy the process. Let me put that back up. Miss Jenkins, she's been putting some real nuggets out there. But yeah, we want to bring back that information as well, because we want to talk about that embedded in the community idea. Success is embedded in the community. Going back to the beginning of our conversation, because it's the village, the concept is still alive. It takes a village, right? But I always said in the family conference, what do we do in the village when the king is incarcerated, killed by police, or destroyed by drugs? The queen has 5 jobs, 3 jobs, all under minimum wage, and has no way of figuring out how she's going to do all this work. And even the matriarch of the grandparent or the grandmother, they're gone. We're living in some interesting times when it comes to our community. We're living in some interesting time when it comes to our children. And so I hope you guys were able to get a few golden and a few platinum. I always like to say platinum nuggets, so you can put this to work in your life. Passion2Profits is about taking what you've been given as a passion, and how could you turn it into a small business, an entrepreneurial opportunity, and make money. But on the other side of that is the impact that you're making. So it's not all about the income. It's also about the impact. All right. So thanks, Denise Jenkins, Tracy Gatton, Danae Barlow, you guys in the chat, Miss Gladys, Tracy, just really, really good comments all across the interwebs there. I'm going to see if I can share this quick video before we go out. Give me a second. Let me see. I believe I can do the share screen opportunity. So I'm going to go to this right quick. And let me see it. Hopefully there's no bugs on there. I'm going to look for the tab. And here it is, Miss Miyoshi Trail. Check it out, y'all. And let's see if I can get rid of that. Tell me if you hear it. But here we go. Coming to us.
Okay. Okay. We can't hear Mr. Ross.
All right. Looks like you guys couldn't hear on my side. It looks like it's playing well. I'm not sure what that was, but y'all saw. All right. And so I'm going to put the video link in. I'm going to put that video link in the show notes so you guys can watch that. That's her YouTube video. She just got a song coming out, and she will be our guest artist, gospel artist next week. And then I have some other things on the burner for you. I have a comedian that's going to come on, and she's not going to do a comedy show, but she's going to do some comic relief, right, based on some questions. But she was in your session last week, so Miss Wendy Lee, and she made some serious comments about the backstory, right, because you talked about your grandmother and how your grandmother was an abusive person, just like you just shared us today. Grandpa was abusive too. So you had that dynamic duo in your background, right? But to here you are, you're still a woman of God, still taking care of business, still making an impact in other people's lives because you didn't let it stop you, right? You had the tenacity, you had the resilience. And so I want to say thank you guys for riding with us again. This is Dwayne-Ross from Dwayne-Ross.com. If you need 30 minutes to, learn about what we do, go to Dwayne-Ross.com. That's DWAYNEROSS.com. sign up for your 30 minutes free consultation. It's really cool if you want to write a book, if you need to self-publish. And again, if you just need a dream coach to help you through and understanding what to do with that tag, that talent, that ability, that gift. If you're having some financial needs and you need to get some things done with your finances, I want to invite you to participate with my econ, my own economy. Take back the rings of your own economy. I have Mr. Keith Tucker. He's ready to meet with you. All you got to do is reach out to me and I will give you information and we will get you set up for a one-on-one appointment to talk about getting out of debt, getting rid of your mortgage, getting rid of those bills that might be stifling you so that you can have the freedom to do the things that you want to do. Also, if you're in a situation where you're looking for a small business at home and you're not sure, one of the things that I had the young man, 19 years old, who was on the show making $5,000 a month in a business that he started just only 9 months to a year ago. And he's shown how to take a couple $100s and actually invest in the Forex market. And I got to tell you, I had some profits this week where I learned I'm still learning how to get in that market and do things. But I got to tell you, it's a joy to know that I have another stream of income. And that's what this is all about as well. Passion to Profits is taking what you love, taking something that you know, and putting it out there into the universe and letting God and the universe work together, conspire together for your success. You know, the biggest part of success is showing up, right? And Les Brown said this. He said, there's a lot of people out there, thinking about. He said, but don't be a thinker, be a doer, be about it. All right. So Joshua 1:8 said, this book of the law should not depart out of my mouth, but I should meditate on it day and night and observe to do everything written therein. For then I will make my way prosperous. I will have good success. The sower had good seed. And if you're a sower, you just got to sow. Don't worry about the ground and all that stuff. Just sow. All right. Take care. God bless. And we'll see you on the next page, the next post, the next YouTube video, the next live, the next DreamStream, or maybe I'll see you on the stage soon, but we'll see you soon. See you next week, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dwayne-Ross at the DreamStream, Passion2Profits TV. Be blessed. We'll see you. Thank you, Celia.